Turboprops are pretty rare in the United States, so I'll take any opportunity to fly on one. Since I'm already in Miami after my last flight aboard Eastern Airlines, I decided to check out America's only passenger ATR operator, Silver Airways. I hope you will join me aboard their ATR 72 from Fort Lauderdale to Orlando. Welcome to Fort Lauderdale. Silver Airways uses this airport as a hub along with Tampa, Orlando, and San Juan. We just arrived at Terminal 1, the largest of the 4 terminals here. This terminal is shared between Southwest and United while also seeing some Allegiant flights, as well as Silver, of course. Silver's check-in area is located right next to United's, but since they offer online check-in and I'm traveling light, I was able to head straight for security. Silver thankfully works with TSA Pre, so I was able to get through in just a few minutes. It looks like we will be using gate A7. Terminal 1 is split into 3 concourses, A, B, and C, and unluckily for us, A7 couldn't be further from security. If you fly with Silver Airways today, however, it looks like they are now using the much closer Concourse C. The inside of Terminal 1 is pretty modern thanks to recent renovations done in 2017, so it has the main thing I look for in a terminal. Nice high ceilings and tons of natural lighting, although I did find the food to be a little limited, at least from what I passed by. At least the long walk is made up for by some cool spots. I got a good look at Southwest's new Canyon Blue Retro, as well as an ATR operated by Bahamas Air. Besides being the name of the plane, ATR is a joint venture between French and Italian aerospace firms founded in 1981 as an attempt to join in on the wave of modern turbos entering the market at the time. ATR released its first product, the ATR 42, in 1985, and it proved popular, but its passenger limit of 48 was an issue. So in 1989, the stretched ATR 72 was released with a max of 72 passengers, which ended up far outselling the ATR 42. Despite the age of the design, both the 42 and the 72 are still in production today under the modernized Dash 600 variants and have outlived and outsold their closest competitor, the Dash 8. While ATRs still see great success in the rest of the world and even manage to play an important role in US cargo aviation with FedEx operating around 60 ATRs, they are rare in US passenger aviation, with Silver being the only operator. Speaking of, this is November 703 Sierra Victor, our aircraft today, a 2019-built ATR 72-600 that has been flying for Silver its entire short service life. Silver operates an all-ATR fleet with 6 ATR 72s and 8 of the smaller ATR 42s, all 600s. Silver has nicknames for all their aircraft, with ours being Conch Republic. I arrived at our gate soon after our aircraft, and boarding started just 20 minutes later. Passengers were asked to line up for boarding, which went surprisingly well, so boarding was nice and quick. ATRs have the cargo door located just behind the cockpit, meaning boarding is always done by going out onto the ramp and boarding by the rear stairs. I'm sure the long walk annoys some, but it makes my day thanks to this great view. Well, this livery is certainly bold. And yes, I know, pink is not silver, and no, I don't know why Silver Airways uses pink, even for their cones. While this very pink plane is Silver's standard livery, they also have a few other liveries running around at the moment. A couple of their aircraft have this bare-bones livery that is actually almost silver. I don't know if this is a proper livery or if they just never got around to painting these planes though. They also have this one running around as a special, which still has Avianca colors on the tail, and most recently this one, which I think is supposed to be their new standard livery, but has only been applied to one aircraft so far. I honestly have no clue which one I like more. They all have their ups and downs, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Boarding was pretty smooth, aside from the fact that someone needed to check my ticket 3 times for some reason. At the counter, at the end of the jet bridge, and at the stairs of the plane. Seems a bit excessive, but it's not the end of the world. Silver ATR 72s come equipped with 70 all-economy seats in a 2-2 layout. The overhead bin size in this aircraft is larger than I expected, and seems to be about the same as what you might expect on a CRJ. The aisle is definitely a little tight though. Anyone taller than me might end up crouching, but that's also pretty standard for an aircraft this small. Here's our seat, 7A. Silver's seats don't come with adjustable headrests, which is fine since they don't currently fly routes much longer than an hour. On top of the seat you have a holder for the safety card, and just below it a half-size tray table. And below that a small seatback pocket with open sides. The supports for the seat are placed a little strange, so finding room for your bags may be a little awkward, but the legroom is good. Overhead you have your standard set of air vents and reading lights. This seat also gets access to 2 very dirty windows, but at least I get a great view of the engine.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on board Flight 66, service to Orlando.
Well, time to get moving. It sounds like Silver uses Siri's cousin for their announcements.
Floor lighting will direct you to the exits. The 4 exits on our aircraft.
As mentioned before, Silver is an all-ATR operator, making them one of the last passenger turboprop operators in the United States. Airlines in America have been ditching their turboprops for a long time now, with Alaska being the last major operator retiring their Dash 8s in early 2023. This is partly because of passenger preference, with turboprops being very loud and cramped, and a misconception that they are more dangerous than jets, along with an airline desire for fleet standardization and flexibility, while moving away from lots of the smaller routes they used to operate. The remaining turboprop and prop operators more generally exist primarily to fill weird niches that the main lines don't care to touch, such as Denver Air Connection flying their Metroliners to small essential air service locations in the Rockies, Raven connecting small Alaskan communities with their Dash 8s, and Silver focusing on short hops to the many islands of the Bahamas and Virgin Islands, as well as inner Florida operations, of course. The taxi gave us a nice look at an Air Canada Rogue A321, the JetBlue Blue Rika Special livery, and one of Silver's Silver ATRs, along with a JetBlue aircraft in their new livery, which was my first time seeing one. The highlight was this passenger Atlas Air 747-400, which I think had just arrived to Fort Lauderdale with the Miami Dolphins. Once we got settled in the air, the in-flight service arrived, which is just water. Once again, this is perfectly understandable for such a short flight, but some pretzels couldn't hurt. As with any of the turboprop operators in the United States, Silver plays a very interesting role. They essentially operate 2 entirely separate networks. The first is a network based out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, which connects to various Caribbean destinations such as the Virgin Islands, and also includes a separately branded seaplane shuttle. The second is their Florida and Bahamas network, which we are in right now. Silver had previously tried expanding into the southeast from their bases in Florida, but they have since abandoned any flights north of Pensacola. While plenty of these routes operate without competition, plenty others see direct competition with massive budget carriers such as Southwest, Spirit, and Frontier. To compete, Silver often offers some of the lowest prices available, which is saying a lot next to Spirit. Importantly, they also interline with this massive list of carriers, meaning a good number of their passengers will be connecting from one of the main lines who wouldn't see connections to the budget carriers as an option anyway. We are already about halfway through this flight, with a solid amount of time being taken up by the takeoff and landing, so sadly the seatbelt sign was kept on the entire flight, preventing me from checking out the single lavatory which is located in the rear of the aircraft. There isn't anything else to do other than check out the safety card, as the plane also does not come equipped with any form of Wi-Fi or in-flight entertainment. Noise is one of the biggest issues people have with turboprops. While the seats on ATRs aren't any less comfortable than similarly sized jets such as the ERJ-145 or CRJs, I think the noise does set them apart. Having a conversation can be very difficult, but I am making it worse by sitting right next to the engine. Something I really do need to mention is Silver Airways' reliability. They seem to have a really bad reputation, and the statistics do show it's not entirely undeserved. While the Caribbean weather is likely a major player in this, they still end up being an outlier. This is what the flights in the days before mine looked like, so it seems we got pretty lucky in departing on time. Silver has been this way for seemingly a very long time. While I'm not one to disregard an airline entirely for something like this, adding a bit of time for delays into your plans when flying this airline might be a good idea. And just like that, it's time to get ready for landing. I'll see you on the ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, Silver Airways welcome to Orlando. Time is 1:28 p.m.
Welcome to Orlando. Something you may not realize is that taxiing with just one engine running is actually fairly common, even for jets. This is done to reduce noise and save fuel. Silver seems to do this quite often though. I don't think I've actually ever seen them taxi after landing with both engines running. So, Silver Airways. I'm really not sure what to think of it. While turbos do have a bad reputation for comfort, I think the ATR isn't actually that much worse than jets of the same size. The legroom is fine, and the cabin is wide enough for 2-2, although the aisle is a little thin. The one thing that really hurts it though is the noise. It's for this reason I think many would still take most other jets over the ATR any day. Competition from the ERJ-175 is perhaps this plane's biggest downfall in America. While it is larger than the ATR physically, it carries around the same amount of passengers and is much more comfortable, and importantly for airlines, far more versatile. Also, the reliability of Silver is a definite negative, meaning most would probably prefer to take their competition when available anyway. Now, this is more a problem for this Fort Lauderdale to Orlando route in particular, and less Silver overall, but they are competing directly with Brightline on this route. While the ride may look longer on paper, the time through security and baggage claim evens things out, and the price is about the same, but Brightline is way more reliable. Perhaps that's why this specific route is ending in March 2025. Despite all this, I can't help but find myself loving this weird, pink, regional ATR operator. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick look at Silver. I'm gonna be continuing my trip home aboard some United Maxes, and I hope you'll join me for that. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.